Good afternoon and welcome to the hearing in docket number 2020-223T involving the application of Swamp Rabbit Moving LLC. We will take a roll call of the commissioners. Commissioner Williams? Commissioner Williams? Commissioner Caston?
Present virtually.
Okay, did I hear Commissioner Williams? Commissioner Irvin?
Present virtually.
Commissioner Thomas? Are we having a problem with the call bridge? All right, we need to break a second while we get something straight on the calls. Parties, please bear with us just a moment. We're gonna break for just a second. We'll be right back. Thank you, and I apologize for the interruption. We are having some technical difficulties. We will resume this hearing in, concerning docket number 2020-233T, concerning the application of Swamp Rabbit Moving LLC. We'll continue with or conduct the roll call of the commissioners. District 1, Commissioner Williams.
Commissioner Williams is attending virtually.
District 3, Commissioner Caston.
Present virtually.
District 4, Commissioner Irvin.
Irvin is present virtually.
District 6, our chairman, Commissioner Williams, or Chairman Williams, is on military leave. District 7, Commissioner Powers.
Present in the hearing room.
I'm Commissioner Belser from District 2, and I'm present in the hearing room. Ms. Dukes, Ms. Dukes, our staff,
District 5.
I'm sorry. Did I leave someone out?
Okay. Yeah.
Thomas? I
Thomas.
apologize, Commissioner Thomas. District 5, Commissioner Thomas.
Present virtually.
Thank you, Commissioner, and I apologize. Commissioner Dukes, will you read the docket, please? Mrs. Dukes, this delay has got me foggy. I apologize. Just promoted our staff attorney.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Madam Vice Chair, and good afternoon, everyone. This proceeding before the Public Service Commission in docket number 2020-233-T concerns the application of Swamp Rabbit Moving, LLC, for a Class E Household Goods Certificate of Public Convenience and Necessity. The hearing is scheduled to begin today, Wednesday, December 16, 2020, at the conclusion of the Commission business meeting. The time is now about 3:06 p.m. We are holding this hearing virtually due to the COVID-19 pandemic. There has been no objection and no intervention. Madam Vice Chair and other commissioners, the docket is in order.
Thank you, Ms. Dukes. We'll take appearances from the parties. Who's representing Swamp Rabbit Moving LLC?
Good afternoon. My name is David Slosher of the Miller Law Firm. I represent Swamp Rabbit Moving LLC.
Thank you, Mr. Slosher. And who is here for the Office of Regulatory Staff?
Leslie Hammonds with the Office of Regulatory Staff.
Thank you, Ms. Hammonds. Mr. Slosher, Ms. Hammonds, and your witnesses, I do apologize for the difficulties we've experienced. Thank you for your patience this afternoon and for hanging with us here. Mr. Slosher, would you like to proceed with your case?
Yes, thank you. As stated, this is, we're here on Swamp Rabbit's application for Class E Household Goods Certificate of Public Convenience and Necessity, which was filed September 24th, 2020, and the pre-hearing conference held on November 30th, 2020. A notice of filing was published in the state newspaper on December 3rd, 2020, with the posted affidavit being filed December 8th, 2020. We also filed a motion and affidavit of our shipper's witness, filed December 14th, 2020, and pre-filed testimony with attached exhibits A, the tariff of Swamp Rabbit, and exhibit B, the bill of lading. And at this time, with the commission's leave, I would like to call Christopher Sweet as a witness.
Mr. Slosher, the affidavit was filed with the motion on the 14th, are you saying?
Yes, it was.
Okay, I think I saw the motion. I think I missed the affidavit, but I see it now. Okay. Mr. Slosher, you have mentioned, I know you've asked to call your witness, but you have mentioned some documents. Do you want to go ahead and enter those into the record? You mentioned an application, proof of publication, and the shipper declaration, shipper witness declaration. Would you like to move those into the record?
Yes, I would.
Okay, the application will be marked for identification as hearing exhibit number 1 and entered into the record of the case. Proof of publication in the 2 newspapers will be marked as a composite exhibit as hearing exhibit number 2 and entered into the record of this case. And the shipper witness declaration of, would you pronounce his name for me, please?
Kevin Carrascio.
Kevin Carrascio will be marked for identification as hearing exhibit number 3 and entered into the record of this case. Now, Mr. Sweet, you've been called to the stand, and we'll bring you up on the screen for us to see, and the court reporter will swear you in.
Mr. Sweet, if you would raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I believe you may be muted. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
I do. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Please proceed, Mr. Schlosser.
Thank you. Please state your name, employer, and business address for the record.
My name is Christopher Sweet. My employer is Swamp Rabbit. I'm the owner of Swamp Rabbit Moving, and the address is 310 Kramer Court, Greer, South Carolina, 29650.
Okay. And are you here testifying today in support of Swamp Rabbit's application for a Class E certificate of public convenience and necessity?
I am.
Okay. Is Swamp Rabbit organized to transact business in the state of South Carolina?
They are. We are.
Okay. And was a copy of the certificate of good standing for Swamp Rabbit filed with your application?
It was.
How did you become associated with Swamp Rabbit Moving?
So I am the owner of Swamp Rabbit Moving. I've worked for a moving company as the highest level supervisor for 4 years, and then I decided to open my own. Currently we do labor only, and we are licensed for interstate moving, so we can do across state lines. We are just not licensed for intrastate yet.
Okay. You said that you previously have worked in the moving industry. Can you tell the commission a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I handle running crews. I also handle on the customer side, reaching out to customers, customer relations, estimating jobs. I've done everything in the moving industry as far as supervisor goes.
Okay. And if you were to be granted your certificate that you applied for, what sort of services would Swamp Rabbit be providing?
Swamp Rabbit would be providing full service residential moves as well as commercial.
Okay. At this time, does Swamp Rabbit have any employees?
Swamp Rabbit does.
And how many?
We currently have about 15 employees.
Okay. What sort of training do your employees go through?
I'm sorry?
What sort of training do your employees go through?
Our employees go through, it starts out with educational videos online, and then it reverts to hands-on training.
Okay. What sort of vehicles does Swamp Rabbit have?
Swamp Rabbit currently has two 26-foot box trucks. One's a 2007 International, and one is a 95 Ford F700 kickback.
Okay. And does Swamp Rabbit own those vehicles?
They own them outright.
Okay. Does Swamp Rabbit plan to acquire any other vehicles?
We do.
Okay. How many vehicles does Swamp Rabbit plan to acquire?
Our 5-year plan is to own 15.
Okay. And is Swamp Rabbit currently insured?
We are.
And can you describe what type of insurance Swamp Rabbit currently has?
Yeah, so we currently have a $750,000 comprehensive auto policy. We have a $50,000 cargo insurance, and then we also have general liability. And we have workers' comp as well.
Who is that through?
The cargo?
Who covers your insurance plan?
They're all different carriers. So the auto insurance is Progressive, the cargo is Hanover, the workers' comp is through ADP payroll, and the general liability, I would have to double check. I forgot the name of the company, but I could double check for sure and find out.
Has Swamp Rabbit submitted a tariff?
We have, it's presented in the testimony, we submitted a tariff with the pre-file testimony.
Okay. And was that attached as Exhibit A?
It was.
Okay. How will you quote the cost of a move to your customers?
So we quote the cost of our move, hourly and by mileage, and we would administrate the quote either by the phone or in person, doing an on-site estimate.
Okay. Does Swamp Rabbit have a bill of lading?
We do. It is in Exhibit B in the pre-file testimony.
Okay. And will Swamp Rabbit provide a bill of lading with each move?
Yes.
In your opinion, and based on your experience working in the industry, do you believe there's a need for Swamp Rabbit services in South Carolina?
Absolutely.
And what do you base that opinion off of?
Especially the growth in the greater Greenville area, as far as population-wise, and also the service we provide is far superior than, I believe is far superior than others that we will provide.
Okay. How do you plan to reach potential customers?
So we plan to reach potential customers through marketing, marketing revenues,
Okay,
Google, Facebook, word of mouth, building relationships with realtors.
Okay. As the owner of Swamp Rabbit, would you say that Swamp Rabbit is financially viable?
Yes.
Okay. Are there any outstanding court orders or judgments against Swamp Rabbit or you personally?
No.
Are you aware of any complaints filed against Swamp Rabbit or you with the Better Business Bureau, Chamber of Commerce, or any state or municipal court or agency?
No.
Have you ever been convicted of a crime?
Speeding ticket count?
So is that
Speeding ticket, I've had a speeding ticket, yes.
Okay. Are you familiar with and do you agree to comply with statutes and regulations that govern the operation of interstate household good movers in South Carolina?
Yes.
Okay. Have you published a notice of Swamp Rabbit's application?
Yes.
And is that the same notice that was published December 3rd, 2020 in the state newspaper?
Yes.
Okay. And that notice, an affidavit of publication was filed with the commission, correct?
Correct.
Okay. What is Swamp Rabbit's plan for the next 5 years?
Swamp Rabbit's plan for the next 5 years would be to have 15 trucks and employ around 60 employees in the South Carolina greater Greenville area.
And given your experience working in the industry,
Mm-hmm.
do you find that Swamp Rabbit will be able to meet that goal?
Absolutely.
I have no further questions for witness. Please answer any other questions that opposing counsel.
Thank you, Mr. Schlosser. Ms. Hammonds, any questions for this witness?
No questions from ORS, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners, any questions for this witness? Commissioner Powers?
Thank you, Vice Chair. I think there was some question somewhere in the application. It indicated $1 million in liability policy or insurance, and in some pre-filed testimony, there was 750 listed by 750,000 by Jim Furlong. It is $1 million, is it not?
I'm sorry, are you asking me?
The liability coverage, is it $1 million or is it 750,000?
It's 750,000. I believe that's the state requirement.
Okay. And I don't know whether this would go to the lawyer or to the witness. It seems we never received verification that was sought from Georgia, or has that been straightened out? I would ask Mr. Schlosser. Well,
Sorry, I'm not sure to what you're referencing verification.
I withdraw that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Commissioners, any other questions? Okay. Mr. Schlosser, before the witness steps down, would you like for the pre-filed testimony to be made a part of the record?
Yes, I would.
Okay, we will enter the pre-filed testimony into the record as if given orally from the stand. And I also believe there was some exhibits attached to the pre-filed testimony, is that correct?
Yes, Exhibit A, which is Swamp Rabbit's tariff, and Exhibit B, which is their bill of lading.
Okay, we will make that a composite exhibit, mark it as hearing exhibit number 4, and enter it into the record of this case. I do have a question, Mr. Sweet. You used to work for Tiger Moving, did you not?
Yes, ma'am.
And your shipper witness works for Tiger Moving. In what capacity does he work for Tiger Moving?
He's also a manager, or yes, ma'am. He's also a manager.
And how is Tiger Moving going to react when they find out one of their employees is standing up for another competitor?
I actually asked the owner of Tiger Moving if Kevin could be the shipper witness, and he approves.
Okay. You have any plans to hire Mr. Koros? I'm not sure. I apologize for not being able to pronounce his name. You have any plans to be hiring him anytime soon?
No, ma'am.
Okay. You currently have, was it 12 or 15 employees?
12.
Okay.
Or it's 15, I'm sorry.
Okay, in your pre-filed testimony, I believe it said 12. So in the past 2 weeks, have you hired 3 more employees?
Yes, ma'am, because we do, we've been ramping up in interstate moving.
Okay.
So in the past, we have hired 3 more employees.
Do you already have interstate authority?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And that was where I was going. Could you tell me the kind of work you're doing right now with that many employees?
We are doing interstate moving and labor-only moving in South Carolina and commercial.
Okay, and you discussed some of the ways that you plan to advertise your services. Before now, have you been advertising for intrastate household good moves?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you very much, and that's all I have right now. With no any redirect, Mr. Schlosser?
None at this time.
Okay. Then the witness may step down. Any other witnesses from the applicant?
None.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Hammonds?
Thank you, Madam Chair. As the commission is aware, ORS did not pre-file testimony in this matter. We did, however, file a letter yesterday dated December 15th stating that ORS has reviewed and inspected the applicant's records and equipment, and it is our opinion that they will meet the requirements of fit, willing, and able. Again, we did not pre-file testimony in this matter. However, Mr. McGill of our Safety, Transportation, and Emergency Response team is here and available if the commissioners have questions for him.
Thank you, Ms. Hammonds. Are you offering your letter?
We will offer the letter for into the record. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the ORS letter dated December 15th, 2020 will be marked for identification as hearing exhibit number 5 and entered into the record of this case. Commissioners, does anyone have any questions for Mr. McGill?
Madam Vice Chair,
Commissioner Williams?
thank you.
Do you have questions? Just a minute. Do you have questions for Ms.?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. McGill, we need to swear you in, please.
Okay, I'm here. They're working on my video now, but I'm here audibly right now.
Mr. McGill, would you state your name for the record, please? Mr. McGill?
I'm here. Commissioner, can you hear me?
Yes. There you are. Now we can see you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Sorry about that confusion.
Would you be sworn by the court reporter, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. McGill, if you would raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Could you give us your full name, please?
My name is Thomas McGill.
Thank you.
And for the record, Mr. McGill, would you state where you work and in what capacity?
I am employed by the South Carolina Office of Regulatory Staff in the Safety, Transportation, and Emergency Response Department.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Williams, please go ahead.
Thank you, Vice Chair Pelzer. Mr. McGill, it's very strange that I'm in a circumstance where I can't see you, you can't see me. But I appreciate what you have done in investigating swamp rabbit moving. And I really just wanted to give you a chance to tell us a little bit more about what you observed in assessing its ability to be authorized to be a moving company.
Yes, ma'am, and thank you for having me. I did meet with the applicant on November the 2nd, 2020 at his place of business. And at that point in time, we discussed through the application process as a whole, the different requirements that he needed to fulfill, as well as look through his tariff and his bill of lading to make sure that it fell within the South Carolina regulations. I also looked at the truck that he had, as well as the moving equipment that he had on hand. And through all that investigation and working with him through the process, ORS has found him to be fit, willing, and able to operate as a moving company.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Commissioners, any other questions for Mr. McGill? Hearing none, Mr. McGill, thank you, and you may step down.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Is there anything else to come before the commission in this hearing regarding the application of swamp rabbit moving? Hearing none, thank you for your application. Thank you for being here, and parties, thank y'all for bearing with us as we had some technical difficulties this afternoon. We will now close this hearing, and we will notify you when a decision is made. Thank you very much.
Thank you.